with the session. We'll extend the session maybe by 15-20 minutes so that we can cover up the time. Let me share my screen. So last session, we've you're not audible, Sedu. Sharing my screen. Let me know if you're not able to see. So last session we discussed about pushing your changes to the central repository. We discussed about your tagging, how you can create your release versions at any point if you want to do, how you can create that. So we discussed about two tags, annotated tags and lightweighted tags. We looked at how you can create those tags. Next, very important concept we are going to talk about is your branching and merging. So, any idea what is branching in version, or in general, what do you understand by branching? Anything, anyone?
No, Rabi. Merging, like, I know. So merge, like, to the main thing. Branching, I don't know.
Okay, so think of a tree. All right, so we have a tree, right? Now your tree has branches, right? So it is basically getting deviated from the main. Let's call it as root or the trunk, right? From there it is deviating and it is creating the branches. Now let's say you do something on one of the branch, right? Now the impact will be only on that branch. It will not have the impact on the entire tree or on the other branches, right? Let's say for example it's an apple tree. You pluck an apple from that tree, so it is only going to impact that particular branch, right? The apple that you have on the other branches or the entire tree itself does not have any effect or does not have any impact because of what you're doing on one particular branch, right? The same way we can work in terms of your code, in terms of your version control system. All right. So generally what happens is you'll always have one branch which will have your production quality code. So whatever the code that you're running in your production environment, you will have that in one of your stable branch. Now this stable branch, we generally call it as your main branch or your master branch, either one of those names. Now this will always have your production quality code, meaning the code that is running in your production environment. Now, let's say you get a bug, all right, or you get a feature that needs to be developed, right? Now, I'm not going to touch this code, right? Because if I'm going to touch this, that means I'm touching my stable code, right? And unless you have tested your code, you cannot call it a stable version. Like, let's say you're adding new features, you're going to add new code to your existing code, right? So, what do we do? All right. So, think of it like this. What do you think? Why do we have, what is the purpose of having so many environments? Like we have a dev environment, you have a test environment, then we'll have your UAT environment, and then we have the production environment. Now, what is the purpose of having so many environments? Any guesses?
So that we don't make changes in the production and then, like, so that we don't hamper any unnecessary things.
Right. So the whole point of that is like any changes you're making, make sure you're doing it in a different environment. You're not doing it like think of it like this. Um, um, your vehicles, right? Now before they launch it, they develop it, they do a lot of testings, they fix the changes, and then finally once everything is stable, once everything is working as expected, that is when they launch it for the general public, right? The same way you have your applications of software as well. So what do we do is whenever we work on something, we first deploy that in the dev environment. We'll see how it is working. If it is stable, then we deploy it in the, let's say, your QA environment. From there, we will deploy it to the UAT environment. And once everything is stable, then we go ahead and deploy that in the production environment. Now, for that, we also need to maintain different versions of your code, right? So that's where your branches come into the picture. So branches can be used to experiment with your code without having any effect or without impacting the other branches. All right. So out of this master branch or my main branch, I can create a feature branch. Just for the sake of example, let's call it as a feature branch. and I can start messing around over here. Now, whatever the messing around or whatever the code changes I will do in this branch will stay in this branch only. It will not have any effect or any impact on this branch unless I go and merge my code. Likewise, at any point, so general practice that we have at an organization level is whenever we get a request like, hey, XYZ bug is there or ABC feature is there, we always go ahead and create a new branch for us. And then we start making changes in that particular branch. And then we start testing from that branch only. And once the testing and all is successful, once we're satisfied with all the changes, we go and merge it to the main branch and then deploy it to the production environment. Understand the concept?
Yes, Ravi.
Yes, sir.
All right. So some people refer Git's branching model as its killer feature, and it certainly sets Git apart from the other version control systems that we have in the market. So Git branches are incredibly lightweight, making branching operations nearly instantaneous and switching back and forth between branches generally just as fast. So branching means you can diverge from the main line development and continue to work without messing with that main line. So, imagine you were working on some ticket. All right. Now you got a level one issue, and it needs to be fixed immediately. So you can diverge from the work that you were doing. You can go to some other work, the level one issue that you've got. You can go and continue working on that without messing your existing work or your stable work. All right. So in many version control systems, this is somewhat expensive process. Git encourages workflows that branch and merge often even multiple times in a day. Let's go through a simple example of branching and merging with a workflow that you might use in the real world. So let's say you have an application, and for this application, you'll always have one branch. Let's call it as your main branch. And this main branch will always contain your stable code, the production ready code. Now, at this point, let's say you got new work. Now, let's say you got a new user story. So, what you will do from this main branch, you will create a new branch. All right. So now, basically, we have two versions of your code, two copies. So, main branch will be one, and then the new branch will be other one. And then we start making whatever changes we have to do as part of the new story or the new task we have got. We start making that changes in this new branch only. Now, whatever change I make over here will stay in this branch only. It will not have any effect on my main branch. Now, at this stage, let's say you got another issue which is critical and it needs an hotfix. You can do the following. So you can switch back to your production. Just give me one moment. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Sorry. Yeah. So now let's say you got an hotfix that needs an issue that needs to be hotfixed immediately. So what we'll do from this new branch, we can switch back to the production branch or to the main branch. And then again from this main branch, we'll create one more branch. Let's call it as hotfix branch. So now we have three copies, all right? The stable code, the experimentation code, whatever the new work that I'm doing, and then one hotfix branch. And then I can start fixing whatever the issue that we are having. We start fixing that, all right, and then we merge it with our main one. So basically, we deploy that to the production environment. So like this, if you want to, isolate your work, you can make use of your branches for that, and then you can switch back to your original user story and then continue working from where you had left off. Does this make sense?
Yes, Ravi.
Yes, sir.
So now if you want to see what all branches you have in your local repository, you can simply run this git branch command. All right. So if you run that command, that will tell you what all branches you have on your local repository. And if you go to the central repository, so let's say um, to uh, repositories we are working with. Oh, not that one, sorry. So here, if you're in the central repository, here you should be able to see all the branches. So by default, you will have one branch, at least one branch. Either you will see as main or master. Okay, so um, they've started changing it. So earlier we used to have this name as master, but now they're changing it to main. So mostly you'll see this name main. Now, if you're on the local repository, you can run this command called git branch, and that will tell you what all branches you have on your local machine. So here, if I run this git branch command, you can see I have one branch, which is the main branch. Now, if you want to create a new branch from the main branch, you can run this git checkout command. So, see, you can create a branch from any branch. Okay, like for example, let's say you have master branch, you have develop branch, you have feature branch, then you have test branch. Let's say for the sake of example. Now, you can create a branch from any of these branches, meaning you can create a branch from master branch, you can create a master from branch from the develop branch, you can create a branch from the feature branch, you can create a branch from the test branch. Any branch it is possible. Now, there are two ways that you can create your branches. One is you can run this git branch and the branch name, the name of your branch that you want to create. Or you can use this git checkout -b and then the branch name. Now, the difference would be that if you're using this command and if you want to move to that new branch, then you'll have to run this command, git checkout and then the branch name. Whereas this command, it's basically both the command in one single command. That's the only difference. So here it's a two-step process. So we'll first create the branch and then do a checkout. Whereas here we are creating the branch and at the same time we are doing a checkout. So this -b stands for your branch, the name of the branch, and then you're telling you want to do a checkout. So both are valid. It's up to you which method you want to work. That's totally up to you. So let me first create a branch. I'll say git branch and let's call this as feature 001. Now the name of the branch is up to you. It's user defined. Git does not have any naming conventions. However, at a project level, you can define a naming convention for your project branches. Like in my previous organization, we used to have this naming convention where so we were using Jira tickets. So the naming convention we were following was a feature, um, feature hyphen Jira, and then the Jira number. This was the naming convention that we were following. This is up to you. You can set this. All right. GitHub or Git does not have any problem with this. You can give whatever you want. Okay. So let's call this as feature 001, and this will create a new branch for me. Now remember, for this, my source would be the main branch. All right. So you can create a branch from any branch you want. Now, when you create this branch, what happens is whatever the data you had in your source branch, everything will get copied over to your new branch. Now, how do I say what is my current branch here? So if you say this asterisk and also the color, that will tell you what is your current branch, meaning in which branch you are in right now. So right now I'm in the main branch, and in the main branch I have all this data. Now I want to move to a new branch. So I'll use this git checkout command. So git checkout and then the branch name, feature 001. Feature, okay, there's a typo, sorry. And you can see switched to branch and then the branch name. And now if I run this git branch command, you'll see that this is highlighted. And also whatever the files I had in the main branch, I have everything now in my feature branch. Now I can go ahead and do whatever I want with these files. I will have no effect on the files I have in the main branch. Questions?
No, Ravi.
No, sir.
Okay. So this is a shorthand for git branch name, and then git checkout the branch name. And at this point, we have a main branch. From this main branch, we have created a new branch, and then we have done a checkout. This is what we have done. And now you can start working on your branch and start making changes to the code and commit the code in the new branch. So now let's say, for the sake of example, let's go to this file, or let's take a simpler one. Let's go to this Terraform. And let's say this change was made in the feature branch. Let me save this. I will do a add and I will do a commit. Let's say feature 001 change, right? And now let me let me go back to my so this is what we have. Now let me go back to my main branch. So again, we will do git checkout. So git checkout main. So switched to branch main. Now here, if I look at this file, you see this is empty. Whereas this one is having the data. In my main branch, it does not have the data. So now my changes are isolated. So whatever changes I've done in the feature branch will stay in the feature branch only, right? And whatever changes I'll do in my main branch, it will stay in the main branch only. I can obviously merge these changes. That's a different process altogether. But now if you see, whatever let's say even if I mess up, it is isolated in that branch only. It does not go and affect my stable code, right? It does not have any effect on that. That's exactly where you can make use of your branching. Questions, any queries? Anyone let me know?
No, Ravi.
No, sir.
Okay. So now let's at this point you get another issue which is critical and needs a hotfix. So you can, from the new branch, you can do a checkout to the master branch. And then from there again, you can create a hotfix branch, make the changes, test those changes and merge it with your master branch. And then you can deploy to your production environment, right? You can do that. So once you're done working, resolving the hotfix, you can switch back to your old work. Before doing that, you have the option of deleting your hotfix branch if you no longer need that by simply running this git branch -d hotfix command. Now you can switch back to the existing branch by running this git checkout command. Now, it is worth noting that the work that you did in the hotfix branch is not contained in your other branches. If you want to pull it in, you can merge your master branch into your new branch by running git merge master command, or you can wait to integrate those changes until you decide to pull new branch to the master branch. I mean, we are basically talking about you merging the changes. Now, to merge your new branch changes, check out to the main branch by running the git checkout main. This will take you to the main branch. Once you're in the main branch, you can run git merge and the branch name to merge the changes from new branch to the main branch. If you want to know in which branch you're in, you can run the git branch command. And once you're done merging the changes from the new branch to the master branch, you can delete the branch as well. Okay. So now assume you have done all the changes, you have tested all the changes and everything is working as expected. Now the next step would be to merge those changes. Now let's say you want to deploy this to your production, right? Now the production deployment will always be done from the main branch only. Okay, you won't be using any other branches for the production environment. Now for that, you will need to merge your changes with the main branch. Now, how do we do that? Well, you can use this git merge command. Before you run this command, you will have to be inside the destination branch. All right. So, in this case, the destination branch would be the branch where you want to merge your changes. So, let's say in my case, I want to merge the changes um, with my, let's say, main branch. So, I have my changes here. I want to merge those changes in this branch. Right. So first we'll have to check out to that destination branch, and then we will run this command git merge, and then the source branch, the changes from where you want to merge it. All right. So in my case, this will be the name, and you can see updating, fast forward, and the file, the changes, and everything. Now at this point, if I run this command, I mean, if I look at the file, you see now I have the changes. Does this make sense? So now, whatever the
Yeah.
changes we did in our feature branch, we have it in my main branch. All clear?
Yes, Ravi.
Others?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Now, though I showed you this example, but generally at an organization level, we don't do this way. All right. I mean, see, you can do it. It's not like you cannot do it, but generally we don't follow this method. Why? Now, see, the changes that we have done it on the local machine, right? On our local computer, right? Now, you may test it on your local machine, but that's not a proper testing, right? You will need to test it in a test environment, let's say an EC2 instance where you have a test application running. You need to test it on that. Now, how do you do that? So you need to push your changes to the central repository, and then from there, you will be deploying it to your test environment, right? So the next ideal step that you should be doing will be to push this branch to the central repository. So how do we do that? So we can first check out to that branch to get checkout feature 001. Sorry. Right. So I'm in the branch now. And then we will do a push. So the command remains the same, git push origin. However, you will need to make sure you're giving the right branch. All right. So if I say main, that means I'm telling I'm pushing to the main branch. And if I want to push to this branch, I'll have to make sure I give that branch name. Now, this will again prompt you for the credentials. Okay, sorry, this should be new origin. Sorry. So, give the credentials. Give my password. I don't know where I've saved it. I think this one. I don't remember. Generate a new one. Just give me. Let's see. Yeah, give me 1 minute. I'll have to generate a new one. Okay. Give me 1 moment. I'll stop sharing the screen for a moment. So here's my GitHub. go to settings, we'll go to developer settings, access tokens. Let me delete that. I don't know where that is. Let's see if this. Generate a new one. Let's give the password. And we'll start. So that's will be the token. So that will be my password. So let's try this once again. And what this will do is, if you have that branch, it will just go and push the new changes. If you don't have that branch, it will go ahead and create a new branch for us in the central repository. So now if you go and look at the repository, which is which one? I keep forgetting it. Which is here. You see, the branch has been pushed to the central repository. And then what we do is we go ahead and start testing it from here. So we deploy this to the test environment and we'll start doing the testing. Whatever testing needs to be done, we start doing it from here. Questions?
No, Rajnish, got it.
Okay. Now, I'll imagine you have, you're done testing, everything is working as expected. So the next step would be to merge these changes, right? So you need to merge these changes to your main branch. Now I showed you in the local repository how you can do it, but again, like I said, that's not the general practice we do. We do it at the central repository level. So that's where we are going to talk about it next. So in Git, there are two ways you can integrate your changes from one branch into other branch. One is by using this git merge command, and you also have this option of using this git rebase command. Now, before I talk about this, now let's say you are in this central repository. Now you want to merge your changes. So let's say, imagine, assume you have done testing. Okay, all the testing and everything is done, and so in this file, if you see, right? So we have the change. Now I want to merge this change into my main branch. Okay, so if you look at the main branch, we will not have that change, right? So now I want to merge those changes. How do we do that, right? So in GitHub, we have something known as your pull request. So pull request is same as your merge request. So you can click on this pull request, and here you see new pull request, and here you need to specify your branch. So your base is the destination branch, compare is your source branch. All right. So in my case, this will be the source branch, and main will be my destination branch. And you get to see the full history over here. Okay, so you can see what all changes you have, when this was committed, what is the commit ID, how many files you have, who made these changes. All these details will be available for you. And here you get to preview those changes. So if you look at this, the index.html file, right? This is in the GitHub that we're talking about. Okay, this in the central repository does not have any change. This is the change you have in the feature branch. Again, terraform.tf, it does not have any change. We have this change in the feature branch. So you get to review this. And then you can click on this create pull request, give a comment, something like, please review and approve, and click on create pull request. So this will create a pull request for us, which is nothing but a merge request. For now, okay, so here you can see this merge pull request. Click on this, confirm the merge, and this will go ahead and merge your changes into the main branch. So now if I go and look at the main branch, I should be able to see those changes. So this is the index.html file change we have, And if you look at the terraform.tf, I have the change as well. This is in my main branch. Now my changes has been merged into the main branch. Questions?
No, sir.
No, no.
Now, obviously, you can put more control over this. Like, once you create a pull request, you can ask someone in your team to review the code, and only once they approve it, you can be able to merge it. So we'll be talking about that later on. But this is the general process. We push it to the GitHub. We test it in our test environments. Once you're satisfied with that, we create a pull request. We ask someone to review that code. It's like, second pair of eyes. We ask someone to review that code, ask them to approve it. Once they have approved it, we go ahead and merge it to the destination branch, and then you start deploying it. This is where you can make use of your branches. Now, if you're on your local machine, there are two ways that we can merge your changes. One is by using this merge command, and the other is a rebase command. Now, both are used to merge your changes, but there are some slight differences based on the commit history that you want to maintain. Now, the easiest way to integrate your branches is the git merge command. So I already showed you the git merge, right? So all you have to do is just run that git merge and your source branch, and whatever the data you have in the source branch will get merged in your destination branch. So rebase, it's an alternative for your merging. Okay, so applies the commits of one branch on top of the commits of another branch. So how your git merge works is you have your master branch, and then you have your feature branch, and then let's say you have your dev branch, because you have two different branches over here. So from the main branch we created one feature branch, and then from the master branch, sorry, the main branch, we also created a dev branch. Now at this point, when you do a merge, when you run the git merge command, what will happen is the commits that we have done in the feature branch, it will just add on top of it. So basically, it will maintain a history of all the commits that we have done in the dev branch and all the commits that we have done in the feature branch. For example, so let me go over here, and so what is my current branch is feature 001 branch, right? Now I'll make some changes over here. So let's go to this file, and let's say this is one change. I will add this. I will commit this. Let's say one. Again, I'll make some change. So let's say this is change 2, and again we will add this and we will commit this. Again, let's say I'll make some changes. So let's say this is change 3, and we will add this and we will commit this. Now we have 3 changes, right? So we have 3 history. Okay, so that's 1, 2, and then 3. Now let me go back to my main branch. So we'll do a checkout. So git checkout main. And if you look at the main branch, you see this is all we have, feature 001 change. Now at this point, let's say I will run the git merge command. So git merge and then feature 001. So this will go ahead and merge my changes. So whatever change we had in the feature 001 branch, it will go ahead and merge it. At the same time, it will get all the commit history. So 1, 2, 3. So it will do an append. So basically it will maintain a commit history for us. So git merge a change from one branch to another branch, and also maintain a history of all the commits that we have done. Is that clear?
Yeah, Ravi.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then you have the git rebase. Now what git rebase will do is, git rebase also does the same thing. Okay, but it will not maintain a history, the commit history that will not be maintained. That's the only difference you have. So again, let's say this is change 4. Let me add this. Let's say 4. Again, let's say this is change 5. I will add this. I will commit this. And let me do a checkout. So git checkout main and git rebase and your branch name. This also essentially merges your changes. All right. So what are the changes we have in your source branch? We get that. So you can see successfully rebased and updated. So now the file will essentially have the changes that we have done. Now let's look at the history. This also has a history, but I have to find something concrete for this. But essentially, see, both are used to merge your changes from one branch to another branch. This is on the local machine. All right. We don't do this on the GitHub. This is only on your local machine. Make sense?
Got it, Ravi.
I think I can stop here. Stashing, merging branches. Okay. Request. Okay. Let's. I need 2 more days to finish this here. Sorry, I mean last week also and this week also we lost like 4 days. I should have been completed this. Okay, no problem. Fine. Finish that. Cool. If there's any questions, let me know. If not, then I'll see you guys on Monday.
No questions, Ravi.
No, sir.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.
Thanks.